On June 22, Japan time, in the game against the Baltimore Orioles, Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers started as the number 1 hitter and the designated hitter, and he recorded 1 hit. The fact that he continues to get hits day after day becomes a source of hope for me every single day, so it makes me incredibly happy. However, there was information after the game that Ohtani was icing his left knee. I am extremely worried about this, and I suspect that he might be feeling some minor discomfort. The Dodgers must thoroughly manage Shohei Ohtani's physical condition. He is the type of player who will contribute to the team's victory even at the expense of his own body. For that reason, they should completely forbid him from sliding altogether. Furthermore, it is highly desirable to have him refrain from full-speed sprinting as much as possible. Whether Ohtani will actually follow such instructions is unknown, but he is simply not at 100% right now to that extent. There is absolutely no need for him to push his limits at this stage of the season, and I want Ohtani to play while prioritizing his own body above everything else. In order to win through the second half of the season and the intense postseason, the power of Shohei Ohtani is absolutely essential. If he suffers a major injury at this current moment, it will lead to a disastrous situation. Even from the perspective of protecting Shohei Ohtani, when he appears in the game as a hitter, I strongly believe that the Dodgers must thoroughly manage his base running. Now, I would like to move on to another topic regarding Shohei Ohtani. The other day, Shohei Ohtani took a rest when he was placed on the paternity list. And at that time, Tucker was placed as the number 1 hitter. Personally, I felt that having Tucker as the number 1 hitter felt extremely natural and was a very good batting order, and that is what I want to talk about. What would it be like if, in the future, we changed Shohei Ohtani's batting order to number 3, and fixed Tucker as the permanent number 1 hitter? The advantage is that Tucker is capable of drawing walks. We can highly expect him to constantly create situations where there is a runner on base right before Ohtani comes to the plate. In addition, Tucker was performing exceptionally well and producing great results as the number 1 hitter. I strongly feel that this role suited him perfectly as an individual. Furthermore, when Shohei Ohtani plays as a two-way player, both pitching and hitting, if he is the number 3 hitter, and when the team plays as the home team, he will not have to rush his preparations as a hitter immediately after finishing his pitching duties on the mound in the first inning. As the innings progress, depending on the timing, there will inevitably be chaotic moments where he becomes the lead-off hitter of the inning, making the transition from pitcher to hitter very hectic. However, by placing Ohtani in the number 3 spot in the batting order, that specific frantic rush in the first inning when playing as the home team will completely disappear. On top of that, during his time with the Los Angeles Angels, when Shohei Ohtani played as a two-way player, he frequently batted third while serving as the starting pitcher. This format of being the pitcher and the number 3 hitter is deeply ingrained in his body and mind. And I believe it makes it much easier for him to find his own rhythm, which would ultimately lead to better performances. While Ohtani as the number 1 hitter is certainly excellent, for me, it is still the number 3 hitter Ohtani from his Angels days that feels the most natural. During his first 2 years after transferring to the Dodgers, he continued to play primarily as a hitter. But starting from this season, he has been thriving as a two-way player right from opening day, just like during his time with the Angels. If that is the case, in order to recreate the successful rhythm of his two-way play from his Angels days, wouldn't Ohtani be able to demonstrate his true qualities even further if the Dodgers also bat him third when he pitches? I sincerely hope that the Dodgers will seriously consider this option. According to an article published on June 19, Japan time, by the Japanese media outlet Full Count, the Amateur Player Acquisition System reform package presented by MLB to the Players Association is causing a massive stir. The proposal includes plans to eliminate the direct path for high school students to enter the professional league, as well as a drastic reduction in signing bonuses, to which the Players Association is fiercely reacting. Voices of criticism are also flooding in from fans, stating that there is not a single good thing about this, making it a highly controversial issue. This indicates that MLB is prioritizing things other than baseball itself. It seems they have completely forgotten that the business itself can only exist because of the development and growth of baseball. Even under the current circumstances, there are plenty of profits. If they reduce expenditures, team management will naturally become easier. Does this mean they just want to make money effortlessly? Or does it mean they can no longer afford to pay the players' salaries? In any case, regarding this proposal from the MLB side, I completely support the stance of the Players Association. This is something that is absolutely unacceptable. I completely understand that managing a ball club requires an enormous amount of money, and I am sure there are many hardships involved. However, the players are also going through the exact same hardships, putting their bodies on the line to play and bring joy to baseball fans all over the world. We must never forget that the baseball business known as MLB can only exist because the players are there. If their treatment and working environment deteriorate, it will inevitably lead to a flow of talented individuals to other sports. It might be fine for now, but MLB does not seem to understand that a small tier will eventually lead to a catastrophic collapse. The baseball world exists because of the players. We must think about everything based on that fundamental premise. If they cannot do that, the baseball world will eventually collapse. I will say it once again. We must never forget that MLB can only function as a business because the professionals of baseball, the players themselves, are there. Now, I would like to talk about my proposal for MLB to implement a mercy rule for games with massive score differentials. On June 22, Japan time, a game between the Dodgers and the Orioles was held at Dodger Stadium. The final score was 12-1, a victory for the Orioles. I am truly disappointed by the performance of the Dodgers in this game. I felt that this game was completely ridiculous. Games with such a massive run differential should never happen in Major League Baseball. Moreover, the Dodgers are the team that became the world champions for 2 consecutive years. This is absolutely not the kind of game that such a team should ever show to the world. Games with these kinds of huge score gaps are seen every once in a while. To be completely honest, as someone who truly enjoys MLB, it makes me feel utterly betrayed. I was forced to watch the opposing team's offense for an agonizingly long time. And I was forced to watch the team I support hit easy, uninspiring flyouts and groundouts for what felt like an eternity. It was an absolutely unbearable situation. Regarding games where such a massive lead is established, like this particular match, I would like to make a proposal. A mercy rule should be established. From the 7th inning onward, if a 10-run differential is reached, the game should end right then and there. For the fans who purchased tickets, 1/3 of the ticket price should be refunded. And how about making the team that suffered the blowout loss pay for that refund? Isn't MLB supposed to be the absolute pinnacle of the baseball industry in the world? Shouldn't they be forbidden from showing a game with a 10-run lead or worse? I believe there are many fans who plan their entire day around looking forward to that specific game. Showing such a match directly results in betraying the trust of many fans. Winning and losing are natural parts of the game, and there are times when the team you cheer for will lose. But if it is a match that fans can honestly find acceptable, we can accept the team's defeat. Is there any fan out there who could possibly feel at peace after being forced to watch a game with a 10-run differential or worse? At the very least, as someone who passionately supports the Dodgers, the team where the Samurai Trio belongs, it was an extremely unpleasant game to watch. I never want to see a game where they lose 1-12 ever again. MLB should revise its rules and establish a regulation for mercy rules. Being forced to watch a game where a team is losing by such a massive margin for an eternity is genuinely bad for one's health. I highly look forward to a swift and decisive response from MLB. That is all for today. Thank you very much.